Let's just relax. Bit of deep breaths. I call upon and give thanks to our Holy God, our Heavenly Holy Creator of all that is, was, and ever can be, for allowing this communication this day. I call upon the 9 beings of light that oversees this process, that creates within and around this room a protective sacred grid around each of us individually and around all of us as a group. I call upon and invoke the essence and the presence of Archangel Michael, Lord Jesus the Christ, Lord Metatron, Archangel Ariel, Lord Ganesh, Lord Melchizedek, Lord Maitreya, Saint Germain, and Kuthumi, to protect us against all negativity projected towards us by any and all beings, consciously and unconsciously, incarnate and discarnate, from above, from below, as also from within, to guide us within the light of Christ, so that at any and all times we are fully grounded, fully protected, and fully connected, to bless us with His Excalibur sword of truth, so that our truth always is and remains our communicating and motivating force of light. I call upon our guides and guardians of each one here individually to come forward. Ask them to place their hands upon your shoulders, to infuse their beautiful light with yours, so that anything that you may question, any questions you may have, or any guidance you may need, be given to you not only through this time, but once you leave here. I call upon our star families and those assisting with the ascending earth, the Kohan, the Elohim, the cherubim, the seraphim. We call upon the Galactic Federation and the celestial beings assisting us with this ascension process, to allow this portal to open up, so that all that is shared this day is shared with the greatest of integrity and truth. I call upon the presence of the earth, Lady Gaia, giving thanks to her for allowing us this process of living again upon her, to feed off her, to breathe off her, to breathe on her. I call upon the presence of Ascended Master Kuthumi and Goddess Diana and all the beings we work with, as we ask their essence to come through, to share what needs to be heard, as we give thanks to them for never giving up on us, even at times when we felt like giving up on ourselves. Let us relax into this frequency and just be. I am Kuthumi, and I come forward upon the rays of love and wisdom, to greet thee at this time, and to gift unto thee a divine blessing of transformation. Greetings, beloved ones. Greetings, beloved ones. Greetings, beloved ones.
Hello, Kuthumi.
Very good, very good. At least some of us are alive. It is with great joy and with great pleasure within our heart that we gather with you upon this day as we hold each of you here firmly within the heart of Christ and securely upon the hands of God. Beloved masters, for each of you are that in training, in accumulating, in learning. For each of you have set for yourself a task of coming alive in this lifetime to recognize that spirit within. You have decided to, for once, try to let go of the judgment that befalls upon you every time. And beloved ones, when it comes to judgment, we know what it's about. We know what it's about. But you see, judgment is not a part of your journey anymore. And for those of you that still falls in that humane trap, we beg of you to let go of that and to finally move on to higher planes. To finally step out of the lower control of this, for lack of a better word, matrix that you are in. For you see, that's what the awakening is about. And that is very much what the Lion's Gate is about, that you've just entered into. Are you familiar with the Lion's Gate? Yes? Very good. Very good. The Lion's Gate is all about the awakening of the divine feminine. I, Kuthumi, channeled this energy and we anchored that frequency of the Lion's Gate for the very first time here in your very country, in a very small place outside a powerful mountain range here in Kwazulu, Natal. We anchored the grid of the divine feminine, which I anchored through one of my other channels, not this specific channel. And from there on, the energy just grew. We then anchored several crystal grids throughout this province, which coincided with 72 other grids throughout the world, all in honor of the divine feminine. Beloved ones, each and every one of you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine at play. I do not wish to speak of that specifically this day, for I have shared much information on that which you may recall or read in the past. But what I would like to share this day is a story of inspiration and hope. For you see, many of you deem your life quite hopeless. Many of you deem your world quite hopeless. Many of you deem your situation here on this planet, and many of you deem the situation within this beautiful country of yours quite hopeless. In fact, quite the opposite is true. For you see, when you think of the analogy of clearing out the dust before the beauty can take form, then that is exactly what's happening. There's a mass cleanse happening upon your planet at the moment. And to enable the jewels of this to come to life and eventually come to fruition, one must clear out that which prevents it. One must first polish the cobblestones for them to turn into beautiful pebbles, so that you may simply glide across them instead of stumble. That is what's happening. It is a process that is taking on form quite fast, although many of you seem to think quite the opposite. We do understand that, but you must understand from the level that we speak of, time, space, and distance has no meaning. In fact, beloved ones, the only one that pays any meaning to time, space, and distance is you. But once you leave this plane and you transcend into the world beyond this, the time and the space and the distance means absolutely nothing. We do understand that you need to relate it in your world for you to be able to understand the concept thereof, but it means nothing. In fact, once you rise up and you go beyond the stratosphere of this earth, all of those things mean nothing. Every yesterday and every today and every tomorrow is part of the one. Every single one of the many fragments that you represent, and you sitting here represent one fragment of many fragments of you, some in incarnation, some in waiting. Every single one of you understand this concept, but the one that is here in embodiment, because of the lower frequency of the third vibration, find it difficult to understand. But once you allow yourself to understand, you see, that is why it gives me such joy and such pleasure to always explain to you, when you leave this plane, the magic that awaits, the beauty that awaits, the love that awaits. For you see, beloved ones, 9 times out of 10, humanity is so afraid of dying that they don't live. You see? And that is the truth. So if we can take the concept of the fear of death away from you, you will excel in your living, for you will understand that one moment in time is absolutely a fragment, a nano fragment of a nanosecond in the eyes of creation and the world out there. So what you've come to be in this very busy and all-important lifetime is but a small aspect, a tiny aspect of your ability and capabilities. Now, every single time when you come down to the planet and you live your life, you leave the memory of all of that which you create within the Akash, which is part of the earth. Beloveds, the Akash only exists for the earth. If anyone tells you that information in the Akash has to deal with anything beyond your earthly lifetimes, run, duck. Because it's not true. It's not true. The Akash only collects the experiences you've had here. And the magical thing is, once you leave here and you transcend beyond the gateways of creation, and it's a process, yes, it's a process. You celebrate 3 days of it just to put yourself at ease, but in fact, there is no time. Once you've decided to let it be and move along, through the filtration system overseen by your higher self, that which is in the Akash only keeps the jewels. But I'm going to confuse you now. The Akash keeps everything. So can you answer me, what does that mean? Anyone? It means all your experiences here are jewels, no matter how negative you may think of them. Remember, the duality plan is only relevant for this planet. The positive, negative, black, white, whatever you say, it's all just for this planet. And it absolutely has outplayed itself, and we've walked through that journey. We've played that card. We are finished with it. We've put that deck away. We're busy with a new deck, the deck of ascension. And what does ascension mean? Ascension means, listen to this, ascension means ascending consciousness. Yes? You're not going to take your body with you, as we've asked this channel to recently publish. Because why on God's green earth would you want this body in an advanced world? Doesn't make sense, does it? Correct. You ascend in consciousness. You don't want to be an avatar. You want to live the human experience for you to be able to come and fulfill your mission. Because each of you have planned a mission. And even though you find it difficult at times to understand, trust me, this channel is the worst of asking, now why am I here? And why do I still have to be here? And I'm never coming back. And we just laugh. Yes, because you are coming back. You've come forward to build the foundations of the new earth. And each of you will come and celebrate the time of that. Now, I know you're going to ask me, when is that going to be? And I'm going to give you a straightforward, truthful answer in about 450 years from now, soonest. Yes? Yes. Not in your lifetime. Not in your lifetime. Not in your great-grandchildren's lifetime will this planet be in its ascended golden state. Because that's what we've prepared for it. As ascended masters and world teachers, we all work together to change the frequency of this planet. You have just drifted into the Aquarian age. It took so long to get rid of and release the heavy Piscean energy that that's the time that it's going to take. But, I've just said, in my world, time, space, and distance does not exist. So, how can I say 450 years? I said it just to please you. Beloved ones, it's about 450 of your years. Yes, it's not going to happen much sooner. There's too much work to be done. And I'm speaking of the ascended Christ world. I'm speaking of the new planet. But what you will see happening is pockets of awakening taking place fast. Pockets caterpilling itself through these ascending years, and people, almost for no rhyme and reason, awakening to a new consciousness that they embrace. Often ones that shock you. Often people that thought you were crazy, who were against you. Those are the very ones that you must bless, you must love, and of course, as I said, never judge. Judgment doesn't exist. Judgment is a lower third dimensional word. It does not exist because we discern and we understand from a higher perspective what is needed here. And what is needed here is each and every one of you to come and make a difference in your life and in others' lives. And to understand that the duality of positive and negative is now also subsiding. The overplay of the divine masculine feminine is subsiding. For you see, for so many years your world had a masculine rule. And then what happened? Can anyone tell me what happened? 2012 happened, yes?
The feminine world became stronger.
The feminine world became stronger. And then what happened?
We rule.
No, you overruled. Bless you, sister. You overruled, you know. And now we had to rebirth and recreate the new divine masculine. And can anybody tell me what the new divine masculine is about? Yes, sensitivity, balance, kindness, gentleness. Men are moving back to where you thought they should be. Gentleman, yes. But this time they come with an enhanced creative side. And you'll find, ladies, being a gentleman, or so you perceive me to be while I'm in this state, working through this channel, you perceive me to be in a gentleman state, although you understand there is no sexist beyond the veil. You do understand that, yes? There's everything. We all work in groups and we work together. But there is this outplay of masculine, feminine, and because of that, it's created many troubles in your world because the egos get involved, which is what's happening at the moment with your world leaders. They are so egotistical, they think they're in charge of the game, but they're not. Beloved ones, they are just a part of it. They're just a part of it. It's the same like we keep saying to you, you know, you come into this world and all you say is, I want stuff. You don't own your stuff. You come here to create, to enjoy it, and then you move on. You let the stuff go. I always say, you come into this world with nothing, and you leave with? No, a whole lot of something. What are you leaving with? Consciousness. Consciousness. Because the consciousness that you've come in with has expanded and grown so much, which is what you as a being are here to do. You've come to teach yourself to become conscious of your consciousness. And that is the greatest gift that you or anybody else can bestow upon yourself or anybody else. Which is why we always say, when someone troubles you, when somebody brings pain into your journey, bless them. Send them love. When somebody sends you bad energy, because energy is very flexible. You can do with it what you want, but it can never be destroyed. So you may as well convert that back into something amazing and send them love. Yes? And always remember, beloved ones, sorry to burst your beautiful bubbles, but you are not here to save the world. And you are definitely not here to save your neighbor, your children, or the school down the road. You're not. You are here as an individual, yet part of the greater whole. If you can recognize that, the I transcends into the we, and that is where we consciousness is birthed. Because although you are a true, unique individual, you too understand the concept of transcending beyond the self. But you do it in such a way that you do not prevent the I from excelling in the we. But the I needn't rule the we, for we are all one. And once you understand that concept, once you understand that you've come to this planet to live a beautiful life, no matter how short or long, you will understand that you are here for a purpose. And that purpose is to expand your own consciousness. For once you are able to do that to yourself and gift yourself with these beautiful gifts, these gifts naturally extend themselves onto others. You understand the famous cliche, do unto the self what you wish to do unto others. Yes, yes, that's how it works. So whatever you become in your world energetically touches on the fragments of others. And that's how energy expands through this world, and this world expands and it travels through the cosmos. Beloved ones, this planet, in fact, has never been in this position that it is currently in. Are you aware of that? Yes. I'm talking about in reality, in your reality, in the cosmos. It's never been here. So what is happening here is we are now moving forward with the teachings of this planet so that you can then pass these teachings on to others by applying them in your own life. And once you can live that, once you can enjoy that, and once you can be real within it, that is when others look at that, and then you become the example for them, without planning it, without saying it, and without enforcing it upon anyone. So if you live out your free will as a divine being, then you naturally extend this frequency onto others, which is basically what all the teachings of Spirit is about. It's about transcending the old and journeying into the new, but enjoying it and loving your life and being yourself. Because that's what you came to do. You didn't come to live your next door neighbor's life. You came to live yours, you know. You may all be friends, you may know one another, or you may not, depending, or it might just be a small fragment of yours that you don't like. But that's complicated. Let's not go there. So it all depends on you, and that's what the Lion's Gate is about. It's about the awakening of the divine feminine within that allows all of this that I speak of, and to bring it into such a divine state that the divine masculine can do nothing but being complementary. In the enhanced teachings, I may say, the reason why I'm finding it rather humorous is I've made it pretty clear to this channel that I do not enjoy the word advance. And has she wrecked her brain to find other words for that? So we'll go with enhanced. In the enhanced teachings, in time to come, beloved ones, you will understand that you are indeed a human, and you've taken on a physical form of a male or a female, but in fact, through the doorways of androgyny, you will come to understand that it has to be in balance. When everything is in balance, everything moves smoothly. When things fall either heavier to the left or to the right, it all goes wrong. So that is what this journey is about, and we understand. Trust me, I have walked this planet. I understand that this journey is complicated. I understand that as simple as the process of life is, it is difficult. I understand that. But the secret to that is, A, stay in the moment, and 2, don't get involved. When I say don't get involved, do an emotional check on yourself. For most of humanity, let emotions run their life, and then there's trouble. When your emotions rule your journey, duck, run. But when the emotions, together with the mental state and the physical state, can recognize your divine spiritual state, and you can understand the reason for being here, not the reason for your treason, the reason for being here, then your life should be filled with joy. Your life should be filled with harmony, and your life should be filled with excitement. And that excitement, beloved ones, is what the teachings that we teach as Ascended Masters are all about. I am not here to tell you where your Aunt Martha hide her jewels, or your lottery tickets, or whatever you want me to do in some futuristic play-out cesspool of nonsense. I'm here to tell you that you're amazing, and you need to live your life accordingly. Stop judging yourself, stop judging others, and just be, enjoy within, like I love to say, glide within the harmony of yourself. Yes, glide within the harmony of yourself, for therein there is only joy. When you realize these things, you will come to understand that indeed there is a higher energy at play. That energy works through the sacred heart and the sacred mind. It's a concept that is very simple, yet difficult to understand for most. I have created a formula to live by if you want to discover unconditional love, which is probably the most difficult subject on your planet. And that is non-judgment, forgiveness, and gratitude. If you can master those, you are going to walk the journey of unconditional love. And once you are able to face those concepts, and you are able to fulfill your trust, you are able to fulfill your trust that you can learn to trust yourself, you will eventually discover your truth. And your truth is not necessarily the lady next to you's truth or the gentleman next to you's truth. Your truth is not necessarily your 3D neighbor's truth. But I love it when I say, where they are at, you once were. So, let your truth be your truth, but allow them the gift of theirs, because that's what this journey is about. And once you are able to do that, through the awakening of your new consciousness, and through a system that we have taught through this channel 12 years ago, which is only now being published, 12 years later, exactly 12 years later, we released this information on how to unleash your ascension chakras, and through that, to get to the concept of your own truth. Before coming here, you couldn't wait to get here. You were so excited. You couldn't wait. And that has happened so many times. Beloved ones, hundreds and times, some even thousands of times. And that is why we say in this very short introduction that you now need to come to the truth of your own being. And that is the reason, your reason for being here. That is understanding the higher concept of the universal energy. That is grasping onto the cosmic flow or the frequency of this energy, and to finally come to terms and understand that there's so much more to this world than you know. And if you would like to know, you can. You are allowed to research. We, in fact, inspire you to research, to learn new things, to keep your brain occupied. We inspire you to become the greatest and the grandest aspect of any of the lifetimes you've ever lived, because this is it. Each time you come back through the process of the Akash and you take on the memory of the past, each time that memory is loaded up with so much wisdom and so much love and so much care that it supports you in transforming yourself quicker and faster so that you may enjoy this journey of freedom the best you can. Are there any questions at this stage? Any questions? You may.
So the Akash is also known as the Akashic Library. So the
Correct.
understanding that we have of the Akashic Library, there's different levels of it. So you've got a third dimensional library and higher dimensions. Is that true?
Not third dimensional, it's a higher dimensional library. It's a library that exists in much higher dimensions. In the fifth dimension, you are able to tap into it, but it exists in much higher dimensions. It carries the energy and the information and the history of the third, but it doesn't hold the frequency of it. That is why I made mention of the fact that at the end, even the negative becomes a positive gift for you, because it can't hold negative. Negativity is a man-made frequency. Let's just get that straight, right? So, if you leave a negative essence, but you're going to ask me, no. I'm going to tell you, yes, there's the lower fourth dimension that you need to overcome, and that's complicated. But a lot of that is through your own making. A lot of that is through your own making. Yes? Does evil exist? Yes. Does the devil exist? No. What? The Akash is a library of earth information containing to the earth of every single lifetime you have ever lived on this planet. And it contains everything. So even the perceived negativity is inscribed into a positive frequency because it only knows positive. Beyond this world, there is no duality. Yes? Even in the spirit world, when you pass over, there are times where you may not be entirely pleased with you. Beloved ones, there are even times when your circle of beings that your pod that you connect to, will say to you, that wasn't so nice. No. But there's no negative connotation to it. They just say, you could have done a better job, you know. You didn't have to hit that man over the head with a bottle, kind of thing. We understand what you tried to do, but you didn't need to. Yes. Does that answer your question? Anything else? Very well then. I would... Sister?
Are birth charts a
Yes.
true reflection of one's journey here? And let's just answer that. And I have a follow-up question, if you will.
Birth chart, you mean the one your neighbor did, or astrology?
The astrology.
Very good. Absolute reflection of you. Where you, the day and the time and the second and the place that you were born. You came into this world through the birthing channel, and you took your breath at that time, and you cried like hell because you're back here. Then they slap you and you keep quiet. But that time that is recorded there, the way the formation of the cosmos was at that time is the frequency that you have chosen to come through on. Having said that, please understand there are 12 signs to the zodiac. Every single zodiac sign goes through all 12 cycles in your life. Did you know that? Well, now you know it. So who are you today? Libra? Tomorrow you're Pisces. No, I'm joking. You live through the process of it. And if you understand astrology and you go back in your life and you know the signs, the astrological signs, and you are familiar with their gifts and traits, etc., you will actually pinpoint when in your life you've moved through the various cycles. I'll give you a clue. The cycles don't jump all over the place. They work in a circle. So even though, to give you an example, even though, and she hates it when I talk about it, even though this channel was born in the month of Leo, she is at the moment working through her Libra process. And this is the second time around in this lifetime. It's not the first time. So if you can understand that even you were born in the month of March and you are a Piscean, you can work through many processes and the wheel turns and you can watch it turn. Where do you think the saying comes from, the wheel turns? Because it does. So where you are at now, you can actually see in your lifetime where you've gone through your process of Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, whatever. You can actually pinpoint it. And according to that, you must understand that your sun sign, although the major sign, really plays very little part in your chart. It just says that's the one that had the guts to jump through the veil at that time. But more importantly, your ascending, your moon, and all the other signs in that zodiac.
I was told, may I ask a personal question?
You may.
I was told twice that Jupiter is in the 12th house. I've lived 9 lives only, and
You lucky girl.
I don't know, and this is my last life.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But it may be your last life here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You can choose to live elsewhere. You don't have to come back to planet Earth.
Yeah.
But Earth remains the most difficult, most powerful school of transformation. So it's the easiest, it's not, may not be the easiest place to come to, but it's certainly the quickest place to transform yourself. So come back. Come back. Why not? It's up to you, beloved ones, but I have to say this with the greatest honesty and sincerity. Thank you, sister, and truth. You may say to yourself right now, look, I'm not coming back here. But you will. Once you get to the other side and you are back within your pod and you celebrate this life and you laugh about it and you've faced your own judgment, so to speak, I don't cling on to the word, and you decide to do things differently the next time around, I promise you, beloved ones, the excitement is so great that you cannot wait to come back here. You forget about all the negativity. You forget about your ex-husband and everything he's done to you, and you say, you know what, I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to make it even more difficult. Well, that's debatable. That is debatable. Before we close for this morning's interlude, any more questions? Anyone else would like to say or ask something quickly? Keep it short.
Just a quick one about consciousness. I noticed that there's a lot of kids that are coming in that are ADHD or autistic or are very sensitive kids. Is that their choice to come through in that form, or is it like a block from their consciousness?
No, it's very much their choice to come through, but I need to specifically say this, beloved ones. This is going to be controversial. Too many of your children are being wrongfully diagnosed. Too many of them. Too many children are diagnosed as ADHD, etc. And in fact, they are highly gifted. Did you forget for a minute that the indigo children are still flooding in? Many people have. Many beings have. And there's not just the indigos, there's the crystal children. There are many pods of children, but we prefer not to put them in a pod because humanity has too much of an ego connotation to these things. And they'll go, my man, my boy is an indigo. Oh no, my girl's a crystal. And that's humane. It's what you do, as beings. But there are children being born onto this planet that are way advanced. And they're here to make a difference. They're here to wake people up to the reality of who they are. And many of them, too many of them, are misdiagnosed. Beloved ones, when your child is diagnosed with ADHD and all that stuff, which could be true, and I'm not saying it's not, all I'm saying is first get them off the sugar and the caffeine, calm them down, teach them to meditate, and then decide if they're still the same. Right? The other thing I would like to say before closing, and this has become a wave of influence, shall I say, for the lack of a better word, in your language. And that is that too many of you as humans, and this has been recently discussed, too many of your humans are being diagnosed with complicated diseases that are not true. Bipolar, many of these illnesses and diseases that are supposed to be psychological diseases. Beloved ones, if you but learn to work with your mind and you are able to address and nurture your consciousness, many things will disappear from your world and you will be free and you will be happy and you will live your life gracefully. I wish for you to go forth and live your life blissfully. I gift unto you a beautiful yellow rose to hold on to place in your heart as I ask you to feel my presence as Kuthumi. I ask you to touch on that, to touch on your heart each day and remind yourself how magnificent you are, how beautiful you are as beings, and in truth, how exceptionally great you are. You are so loved. Your guides, your guardians, and all of us from the dimensions beyond this one truly admire you, we love you, we support you, and we thank you. May the light of the living Christ burn brightly in you, now and forever, in all ways, always. I am Kuthumi. I am the Lord and the Master of the golden wreaths of love and wisdom, and I greet and I bless thee in love. I'd like to thank Kuthumi and Diana and all of the guides and the guardians that was with us, coming through and working with us. I'd like to thank each of you for being here. Thank you. Namaste.
Sure. I'm not too sure how to say thank you.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Bless each of you.
Bless everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Go out and have a jaw.
You're coming back again.
Colleen is up next. It's very warm in here, hey?
We're going to put the aircon on.
Yeah. It's a pleasure. Thanks, Nicole. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to see
Are
you
you
as
going to
well.
go down?
Yeah, I want to go
Say
do some
how's it
yoga.
to Deborah.
You're not coming
I
to me?
can't go down because I've injured my hip and I
Oh.
can't possibly torture myself coming all the way up.
You-
Yes.
I'll carry
Will
on my
you?
back.
Yeah, I hurt my hip so bad.
Are you going to go down with the golf cart?
Yeah.
There you are.
You
Look
just
at that.
stop this.
Materialize something.